Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appeared here in late 1998 to give my views on what constituted an impeachable offense, and I've been invited today to comment on whether some suggestions of misconduct by President Bush are acts that might appropriately result in impeachment proceedings. Impeachment should not simply be at the pleasure of the House and conviction at the pleasure of the Senate. There must be some standards. And for a president to be impeached, as Congressman Pence said earlier today, he must have committed some grave offense that is contrary to his oath to uphold the Constitution and laws of his country. He must have put his interests above the Constitution and the laws. When I appeared here in 1998, I did so because it appeared to some members of Congress that the allegations made against President Clinton suggested that over many months he had engaged in deception, lying under oath, concealing evidence, tampering with witnesses, and in general obstructing justice by seeking to prevent the proper functioning of the courts, the grand jury, and the investigation of the Office of Independent Counsel. Those offenses, if they did occur, would clearly have been undertaken for personal reasons and to frustrate the workings of our system of justice. I've reviewed the allegations made against President Bush, but they seem different in character from those made against President Clinton, and let me try to hit the highlights here. First, the allegations against President Bush include the dismissal of United States attorneys for political purposes. Given, however, that presidents have had complete discretion over the hiring and firing of U.S. attorneys, and given that there is no suggestion that President Bush sought to prosecute innocent defendants, I can't believe that there are any grounds for impeachment here. There does not seem to be any indication that the Justice Department was frustrated from doing its appointed tasks in order to serve the personal needs of the President. Second, I'm unable to discern how the implementation of a particular view of the powers of the executive, the unitary executive theory, amounts to a high crime or misdemeanor. There's no doubt that the Constitution does give considerable discretion to each branch of the government to determine for itself the reach of its own powers. As near as I can tell, this is what is meant by the theory of the unitary executive. In the course of fulfilling his executive responsibilities, particularly in a time of war or national crisis, the president needs the freedom to act effectively in the national interest. If a president, in good faith, seeks to act in the national interest rather than in his own, his conduct is not impeachable. President Bush's practice of signing statements accompanying placing his signature on legislation has also come in for some criticism today. Given that this seems, though, to be a practice followed by several presidents, the practice should probably not be construed as an impeachable offense. A better solution suggested today is to pass legislation, instructing judges perhaps to ignore signing statements or making other qualifications. In a third set of allegations regarding detention and investigations, what President Bush and his administration have done in seeking to prevent another terrorist attack seems to have been undertaken in good faith, pursuant to the President's understanding of his constitutional powers and with the close oversight of Congress. Because Congress has exercised legislative direction in connection with judicial proceedings against enemy combatants, and because the courts have stepped in on several occasions to support or rebuff what the executive has done, this doesn't seem to be an area of abuse that cries out for the impeachment remedy. Fourth, manipulation of intelligence and misuse of war powers. Here the concern seems to relate to the representations of weapons of mass destruction purportedly possessed by Iraq, which later turned out not to exist in the quantities and qualities claimed. But here, what the Bush administration claims to have done was what it believed was necessary in our national defense and that of our allies, such as Israel. Again, there appears to be no claim that the president abused his office for personal reasons that would call for his impeachment and removal. Improper retaliation against administrative critics and obstruction of justice. Obstruction of justice is an offense that was charged against President Clinton, and if there was any evidence that the president had sought to obstruct justice, this might be a good impeachment charge, but I haven't seen any evidence that in fact that occurred. 6, misuse of authority in denying Congress and the American people the ability to oversee and scrutinize conduct within the administration. Misuse of authority is so general a term that it brings to mind the constitutional debate between Mason and Madison over whether maladministration could be an impeachable offense. I'm not sure this kind of misuse of authority is. My time is up, and I'll just sum up by saying, Mr. Chairman, that impeachment is a radical remedy to be used